What's up, guys? Mike DOLCE, four-time world mixed martial arts trainer of the year, is here to report some unfortunate news from the land of the UFC. Former UFC 135-pound champion TJ Dillashaw has tested positive for EPO. You'll remember a month or so ago, we reported that Dillashaw had popped hot on a drug test and had voluntarily relinquished his belt. That was odd. Most athletes fight when they test positive for something. They come up with some sort of defense or excuse, and they try and keep their status as long as possible. Dillashaw stepped aside immediately, which led the world to believe that there was something significant going on. Well, news comes out today as broken by Brett Okamoto of ESPN, and I will read it briefly. From ESPN.com, the United States Anti-Doping Agency has suspended former UFC champion TJ Dillashaw for 2 years for testing positive for recombinant human erythropoietin, EPO, before a flyweight title fight against Henry Cejudo on January 19th in New York. Further goes on to say I should say Jeff Nowitzki goes on to state, I'm quite familiar with EPO from my days investigating professional cycling teams. UFC Vice President of Athlete Health and Performance, Jeff Nowitzki, told ESPN, it is a very effective substance, EPO. It's not a substance you find in contaminated supplements. EPO is injectable only. You have to know what you're doing when it enters your system. On a scale of seriousness in anti-doping, EPO is up near the top. Now, those of you will remember that Dillashaw did suffer a first-round knockout at the hands of Henry Cejudo when Dillashaw dropped down from 135 pounds to challenge Cejudo for the 125-pound world title. This is very unfortunate news. This is very disturbing news for many reasons. Dillashaw was very vocal about his training and preparation in dropping to 125 pounds. There were previous accusations made against Dillashaw by his former teammates at Team Alpha Male. Primarily, Cody Garbrandt was the one who lobbed these accusations when he and Dillashaw had fought twice. Cody was very clear in saying that Dillashaw was a doper. Dillashaw had a reputation for doping. And in fact, Dillashaw had taught some members of Team Alpha Male how to dope. This did not go anywhere, as smack talk is very common inside the world of combat sports. Lo and behold, it comes out now that Dillashaw tested positive for EPO. Speculation also brings us to Dillashaw's strength and conditioning and performance coach, the quote mad scientist behind Dillashaw's weight drop and his physical augmentation. That would be a Sam Calavita of the Training Lab. Now, I've reached out to Sam Calavita multiple times through social media and through friends in common, trying to get Sam onto our show, onto our podcast, to discuss prior to the fight how Sam was preparing TJ. I thought that would be great information to share with the public. I thought it would be a great way to highlight what Sam and TJ were doing. Now, certainly, Sam Calavita, who has a background training for triathlons in endurance sports, has been implicated in this process. Now, no one knows for sure what happened. Only a select few people in TJ's camp know what happened, know where the fault lies, and what was responsible ultimately for this failed test. Again, TJ Dillashaw tests positive for EPO and has received a 2-year suspension from USADA. Now, that is a big deal. 2 years outside of the sport is a long period of time. When is he? So Dillashaw, 33. is ranked number 10 on the pound for pound list, will not be eligible to compete until January of 2021. We're looking at a little under 2 years now. It's retroactive to the time of the test, I believe. That's correct. The New York State Athletic Commission also suspended Dillashaw for 1 year. USADA supersedes that with a 2-year suspension. Again, guys and gals, this is terrible news. It's unfortunate. I like TJ Dillashaw. I'm a fan of TJ Dillashaw. I'm a fan of members of Dillashaw's camp. And it's sad to see anytime a top athlete like Dillashaw succumbs to the pressures of competition and apparently has taken performance-enhancing drugs to go out there and compete. It is a sad day. I'll read a few questions here as the questions have coming in. All snap. Mr. Mayabata says, hi, Coach Tony, the syringes. Jordan O'Connor, rip TJ, sad to hear, but I'm glad he got caught. It's a terrible thing. I'm only going to be commenting, guys and gals, right now on the Dillashaw issue. New documentary out called Screwballs about roids in baseball. Sean down 8 pounds in 8 days on 3 weeks to shredded. Well, I will mention that 3 weeks to shredded is the DOLCE diet weight loss vehicle. Down 8 pounds in 8 days following our whole food approach, which I do appreciate. Brandon is down 6 pounds. I appreciate that. Van Long, wow, I can't believe this is happening, nor can I, Van. It's terrible to hear. I was assuming it would be some sort of unintentional ingestion, as I had said on my prior video, possibly the use of diuretics to squeeze down into that weight class. I had never thought it would be something as powerful and dangerous and notable as EPO. Sean, what level or echelon of coach would be aware of such an abuse? Is this something everyone in a camp knows about and keeps secret? No, I would say not likely. The skills coaches had no idea. I don't think the boxing, the Muay Thai, the striking, the wrestling, jiu-jitsu, usually it's between the athlete and their strength coach, their performance coach in such a circumstance. I would love to get Sam Calavita on. I would love to hear Sam Calavita's take on this. I believe Sam Calavita now has to clear his name, as there is too much of an association with Sam. What he is, his results and his resume, I think, are tainted now. And I would like to give Sam the open platform to come and tell us his take on what had happened if he was open to do so. But again, he has refused any communication with myself to come on any of our media outlets, our podcasts, a YouTube channel and such to discuss this. And that's unfortunate. And again, this goes back prior to the fight. We were hoping to get Sam on to highlight their work. Now, unfortunately, there's a cloud of controversy surrounding that relationship. John Doe, we know how secret Sam's Cal's workouts and nutrition was. Is it possible he was using other PEDs and not flagged for it? John Doe, anything's possible. I don't know. I don't want to speculate on anything other than what we know for sure factually. And factually, we know that TJ Dillashaw has tested positive for EPO as per USADA. Barry Jones, people have been saying he has been on the juice for years. If it's proven to be intentional use, I believe he should have to pay the money back. He has won since he's been juicing. That is an interesting conversation, actually. But Brock Lesnar made millions of dollars when he fought Mark Hunt in the main event of UFC 200, tested positive, and did not have to pay anything back other than what he was fined. That's ridiculous. I do agree with you. Barry Jones. Adam says once popped fighters should be banned for life. I do agree with that. I just said that to Luke Thomas on Twitter. I've said that many times before over the last few years, that if the UFC, if any organization is serious about an anti-doping stance, they should have a zero tolerance policy in which if an athlete fails and goes through proper due process and it is proven that they failed, they should be banned for life. That will immediately change the attitude. Many athletes think it's worth it. It's worth it for an athlete. So the athlete thinks. The athlete will feel it is worth it to go out there and possibly take performance-enhancing drugs that they have a small chance of getting tested and getting and failing the test. I should say they're going to get tested, but they feel confident that they can sneak by the test. So they have a minority percentage chance they feel in actually getting busted, but they will make millions of dollars for that bout. The athlete will look at this and say, Is it worth it to me? If the athlete's making anywhere between, I would wager that Dillashaw probably made between $1 to $3 million for this fight. Let's say he made $2 million for this fight versus Henry Cejudo. Is it worth it for him to risk getting busted, risk getting suspended for 2 years? If he's sitting on $2 million, he still averages out to a $1 million per year salary, and he can come right back in and start fighting again. When we put all aspects on the table, athletes will actually take that wager and feel it's worth the risk. And unfortunately, we see what happens as so many high-profile athletes do get busted and have failed these drug tests. Again, it's unfortunate to see. My perspective is there should be a zero tolerance policy. Any athlete who tests positive and has proven through the due process to have tested positive should receive a lifetime ban. You will immediately see any doping violations go away. Athletes likely won't even be ingesting caffeine anymore. Castor Troy, disappointed in TJ. Yes, I am also. Want to be me. How's Cody Garbrandt feeling right now? He was on top until his 2 losses. I agree. I do feel for Cody in this situation. Van, if he has been doing this since he was with his team, how come they only are finding stuff now? I don't know. We can't speculate on anything other than the facts. David Keller, what are the benefits of EPO? EPO synthetically increases natural red blood cell production, thereby offering greater oxygen supply to the body. This can be met through natural means, through athletes who move. The concept is live high, train low. Athletes who move into the mountains, typically above 5,000 feet in elevation. 6,000 to 8,000 feet seems to be the sweet spot for an athlete to improve natural red blood cell count. Why is this? Because the oxygen is thinner the higher you go. The body naturally must adapt to that environment and naturally produce more red blood cells. TJ Dillashaw could have had a very similar benefit had he moved up to Big Bear, let's say, like many athletes do. They go and train at Big Bear, which is above 5,000 feet elevation. Denver, Colorado is at and above 5,000 feet elevation. You can live at elevation, naturally produce your red blood cell count, and you can go and compete with a natural performance benefit that is not illegal. Unfortunately, athlete chooses to take illegal synthetic drugs, and this is what happens: a 2-year suspension and possibly a career ending. This could be career ending for TJ at his age and stage of life. Who knows what happens? Maybe he's happy to walk off into the moonlight. I don't know for sure. Athletes have never come back sometimes, or when they did come back, they were not what they once were. There goes his legacy. I do agree with that. Joe, Henry whooped a juiced TJ. Yes, Henry did, which shows what a beast Henry was. Adam, we will never know for sure what a man female is capable of in any sport as long as some athletes or fighters are dirty. And that's a shame, because humans are capable of amazing feats. I agree with that. Joe, I'm glad you mentioned Brock Lesnar. Why does Dana want to bring him back? Does that mean Dana supports juicers or their headlines? The UFC doesn't care, in my opinion. The UFC has no morality, and nor should they. Why is that? That's because the UFC is a business, and we need to have a very clear delineation of how this works. Businesses only care about bottom lines. Do you think your local supermarket cares if they're selling gallons of milk to drug dealers or criminals or convicts? They don't care. Their job is to sell goods. The UFC job is to sell fights. That's all they care about. I understand that it's very difficult. It would be difficult for me to be in that position, which is why I don't promote fights. So I can't be mad at Dana for doing that, though I disagree emphatically with Brock Lesnar fighting Daniel Cormier, as they're talking about. Can you cycle on EPO, Kurt? I don't understand your question. Want to be me? The USADA tests are getting better as technology advances, and they are catching things they didn't before. I agree. I think the sensitivity of the tests are getting better. Has Bang Ludwig commented yet? If he didn't, I know you really feel for him. No, Bang hasn't. I haven't discussed this with Bang, and he hasn't made any comment, nor do I think he would, nor do I think Bang would stand for any of this nonsense. Knowing Dwayne Ludwig, that is not the type of person he is. King Dolce just learned that broccoli and Ricky V, we'll talk about the health and fitness stuff later. I want to keep this to the topic at hand. Henry, is EPO really dangerous for the end user? Yes, it is. Can you give a quick rundown on what EPO is? I would suggest you go online and you look up EPO. That will do a better job of providing information than I can offer you right now. What I will tell you, it is very dangerous. It's very dangerous also with weight cutting athletes because the higher the red blood cell production, the more sticky essentially the blood becomes, the higher the risk of stroke and heart attack becomes. And there is a long storied history of athletes having stroke and heart attack as a result of EPO use. It's very poorly advised. Poorly advised. Whoever taught this to TJ, or maybe TJ did it completely by himself. TJ should come out and absolve Sam Calavita if that's the case, because a lot of people right now are looking at Sam and blaming Sam, and that might not be fair. And I need to be clear. Sam may or may not had any idea, but TJ should come out and tell the true story and absolve his team from any wrongdoing. That should be clear. TJ should stand up and take responsibility, or whoever was a part of this should go down with the ship with him. Why do you think it was changed from a 1 to a 2-year suspension? New York State Athletic Commission levied a 1-year suspension. USADA levied a 2-year suspension. Joe, I'm not surprised he said on JRE, I look better back then, talking about pre-USADA. Why on earth would anyone say that? Was he clearly defending something? It is possible. Ricardo says EPO half-life. I do not know. Mike Lee, why is anyone surprised? Pro sports is for people aged 18 to 25. After that, your body breaks down. Also, you could do PEDs in your teens once, and it will change your capabilities for life. I don't disagree with you, Mike. But PEDs are not a part, should not be a part of the sport if the athlete is competing in tested competition. George Garcia, what do you think about TJ's camp? I don't know all the members of TJ's camp truly. I do know Dwayne Bang Ludwig. Dwayne Bang Ludwig is one of the most honorable coaches in the sport. Dwayne is a technical coach. Dwayne focuses on the actual science of fighting. Dwayne does not focus on the weight cut, on the nutrition, on the supplementation, or the strength and conditioning. That was handled by Sam Calavita of the training lab. TJ has been very open and very vocal about this, which is the only reason I am discussing this openly. I'm not trying to cast a shade or throw shade at Sam, but TJ is the one who brought it up so many times, which makes the whole world now look towards Sam and wonder exactly what happened here. Does Sam know, or what did Sam know? And I think Sam needs to come out and make a statement on this, as does TJ. Amen. Is it true that EPO can only be injected? That's what Jeff Nowitzki said. Jeff Nowitzki worked for USADA. Jeff Nowitzki is one of the representatives that busted Lance Armstrong. Jeff Nowitzki is very good at what he does. I will take Jeff's word on this. Philosopher says everyone is on steroids. Leave TJ alone. That is one perspective. Ben, doping in MMA much more consequential than other sports as it involves potentially doing serious harm to your opponents. That is a valid point. Philosopher, we don't get to see any one of the best fighters because of USADA. That is not fair. There's a lot more questions here. Let me try and run through. I think there is. This is compelling. The MMA guru, I may be crazy, but I think we're going to get an update in a month saying we think it could be this from USADA, and TJ may have his suspension reduced. That would be very, very, very difficult at this point. TJ already relinquished his belt. He relinquished his belt before these findings were actually put public, which made everyone believe TJ knew there was wrongdoing and made everyone believe TJ knew he was guilty and could not escape it. He gave up his belt. Do you know who was working with TJ with his diet? Yes, that was Sam Calavita of the training lab. And it should be noted that Sam Calavita is a triathlete. Triathletes, by and large, have been known to use synthetic chemicals such as EPO. It's just the nature of the game, unfortunately. That doesn't mean Sam is guilty of this. I have to say that. But we should hear from Sam and we should hear from TJ to better understand. Wannabe me, TJ went from thinking he was going to be champ at 3 weight classes to now being suspended for 2 years and won't be the same fighter when he returns. That is very possible. Tom Day says, I've been following your principles and recipes. On day 12, went from 202 to 190. That's awesome. Down 12 pounds in 12 days following the Dolce diet. As a quick aside, I do appreciate that. And you guys can go to thedolcediet.com to start our 4-week or 12-week personalized online diet and exercise program. Tom Day, I'm proud of you, my friend. Jacob Harry, do you believe Calavita knew about it? I don't have an opinion on that. It would be hard for a coach to not know, but without the facts, it would be improper of me to offer an opinion. I would love to hear what Sam has to say. I would offer an open forum if Sam wanted to come on and have this conversation with myself, but Sam and TJ do need to come out and make a statement, or reputations will be burned, careers will be burned. Gary Byrne, obviously pure speculation, but do you think he was struggling to cut the weight and needed the extra push to cut? EPO will not help you cut weight. It will not help you cut weight, but there has been speculation that there's been speculation, and this is all allegedly, that the use of diuretics could have been possible, and also the use of diuretics are also used as a masking agent for performance-enhancing drugs. So if you're comfortable in understanding what the benefits and risks are of taking performance-enhancing drugs, some athletes resort to the use of diuretics, which are also banned and tested for by USADA. This becomes a slippery slope. It's a shell game, and USADA does this better than anyone. Hardeep says TJ should have shot some height growth hormone. That's not nice. Max says, I know other garage members who are on gear per sources who are friends with some wrestlers who were there. Max says, okay, so Max is talking about Sam Calavita at the training lab, the infamous garage, as we know. Now, this is pure speculation. I have no opinion on that, Max. If you have more information, sir, you can certainly share that. Ricky says, King Dolce, do you think that if he didn't try to go for that second title, he possibly would have flown under the radar? Very, very possible. And it could have been due to the dramatic weight cut that they didn't understand the nature of what was in his body, and he tested positive. They say during the weight cut, a lot of drugs are easier to detect. It's unfortunate all the way around. Adam says UFC should have a name and shame list posted on their website and even mentioned at each event. USADA does have a list of athletes who have been busted. There is the list of shame on the USADA website. EPO is no mistake. Seeker of glory. I agree. John Doe says, I'm sure EPO doesn't help with weight cuts. No, it does not. Augie says TJ is a cheater. Barry says TJ has tainted his whole team with his cheating. I agree. I'm not saying they were involved in his abuse, but rightly or wrongly, people will be asking questions regarding their integrity. I agree 100%. TJ needs to come out and set the record straight to absolve his team from any wrongdoing. TJ needs to come out. I believe TJ and Sam, once again, both need to come out and make a statement to clear their names or to clear the names of those on their team. Seeker of glory, TJ killed his career and legacy. That is very possible. Gary Byrne, if you can endure more, doesn't that mean you can push yourself more to cut weight? No, it becomes more difficult due to the increased red blood cell count. Should TJ just retire? It all depends. Renee says TRT and EPO. That is possible, but we have to stick to the facts. Zeke, does he still get paid for that event? Yes, he does. He will likely have some sort of financial penalty. Kevin says TJ is a beta male. That is funny. Seeker of glory, he'll probably come back half the fighter he was. Possible. John Mcguire, my man, John Mcguire. I'll say it again. If you have to cheat, then fighting is not for you. Amen, John Mcguire. John Mcguire, so you guys know, is one of the most accoladed and credentialed fighters in Europe. John Mcguire, I believe, holds more belts than any other athlete in the European fight scene. In the UK, let's say, because I don't know if you guys are in the EU right now or not. John Mcguire is a beast, and he can eat a box of donuts at one sitting, by the way. Rob, SRY just stepped in. What did they find in TJ? Sorry, Rob. It was EPO, and that is a nasty thing. John Doe, endurance meaning conditioning like Max Holloway type stamina. Yes, that is possible, although Max is a clean fighter. So don't conflate Max Holloway with a convicted drug user. Max Holloway is a clean athlete, has never failed a drug test. But you're saying that style of conditioning. We understand that. Kanye, TJ wanted to fight DJ because he thought his roid use would never catch up to him. That is possible. Everyone is on steroids, says Nate Diaz. That is true, Nate. Iman, looking back at the post-fight press conference after Cejudo, kind of makes sense why he cried. Like, even with EPO, he couldn't win. That is something that has got to be a ego breaker. Gary Byrne answered that. He lost. Everyone looking back. Yep. EPO gives you super cardio and better recovery. That is true. Thanks for the confirmation, Mike. You got it, Gary Byrne. It's a terrible topic, but we're reporting here, reporting live and telling you what happened. Do fighters use EPO during training or just for the fight? Likely they take it during the training camp. I don't know the exact length of time that they would take it, but likely for a few weeks. Augie Mata, give Cody his belt back. That's not happening. Wanna be me. I'm 42 and used testosterone last year and worked wonders for me. Felt like I was a teenager again. Haven't used it for about a year and can't believe how old I feel. That is life, my friend. Seeker of glory, philosopher during training. Brandon, if Bang wasn't aware, does he drop TJ as a student? I don't know. I will try and reach out to Bang in the future and see, but now is not the time. SoCal Rocker, the Mexican Nick started that phrase. Is this steroid worse than the Jones steroid? Kanye, it is no better or worse. Illegal is illegal. Skoy Boy Dolce, love your show. What would you recommend for a workout after a slight pull? I'm going to keep this to the topic at hand. I will come back with my regular diet, fitness, strength, and conditioning content after this video. Wanna be me. It's awesome, isn't it? Not that. TJ might have gotten tested a lot more than he would have since he went down a weight class for a title fight. Wanna be me. That is true. Max, I remember when you finished Riggs. Max, I appreciate that. That was actually a great fight in which I did win that title up there in Colorado. That was many, many, many moons ago. Neil was a fan of TJ until I found out he had to inject himself. It is sad. It does hurt his legacy. Vincent, Cody should sue him. Oh, God, that's not the way it works in sports. The Mexican, this is a red flag for all the guys with strength and conditioning coaches. Having a strength and conditioning coach is a great thing, just like having a striking or grappling coach. The illicit use of performance-enhancing drugs contrary to the rules of sport is the problem. This is a moral and ethical issue. Working with a strength coach, their strength coaches in the NCAAs, in the Olympics, in professional sports, in youth athletic organizations. Don't blame the coach, blame the criminals, we should say. Zach, Coach Dolce, I can do 30 minutes of list immediately following. Zach, I'll get back to that later, guys and gals. So I want to keep this on topic. We have many. Hold on. Many more questions here, and I will try and get through all of them before we get off of this. He said he should have gotten 4 years. I think lifetime ban. I've said it before, lifetime ban, whether I like these guys and gals or not. Seeker of glory, fighters use EPO for faster recovery during training and prolonged, to quote Nick Diaz. That is true. Was he on EPO for his fights with Garbrandt? We don't know that, so we cannot speculate. New York Yankees disappointed in TJ. We agree. Philosopher, how does EPO help with recovery? Well, it primarily, as far as I know, it helps with greater oxygen supply, which allows the muscles to push much harder. You can go harder for longer. And I would just simply suggest do a Google search if you want to know more. Now is not the time to get down into the pharmacology of EPO. Wanna be me? I don't think testosterone is bad for men over 40. That's a slightly different topic. Ricardo, USADA is actually a great thing when it comes to the fight game. People can get hurt. I agree with that. Cody is vindicated. Maybe, maybe not. Pronig, TJ signed his retirement. TBH, there's no bouncing back. Maybe. Ayub Ali, you are crazy, my friend. You are betting on the wrong horse. Ricky V, this can even put the Cody fights on the questionable list. Absolutely. There is now an asterisk next to every fight TJ Dillashaw has ever had. Just like any doper, anyone busted with PEDs, there's an asterisk next for their name, and every fight they've had before that is open to review. Bert, he wasn't taking EPO. He just lives in Colorado and they naturally raises his EPO. That is absolutely incorrect. That is completely wrong. This was synthetic EPO that can only be injected, as Jeff Nowitzki had said. John Doe, why do you think TJ took it? Millions of dollars on the line. Why do athletes cheat? Why do people cheat on their taxes? Because they're greedy and they're insecure. That's really what it comes down to. They're greedy and they're insecure. They don't think they're good enough and they want all the glory and all the spoils across the board. That is the human condition, and that is unfortunate. Why wasn't this detected before? Why now? Maybe this was the first time he ever took it. I don't know. We don't know. Maybe because of the dramatic weight cut. Maybe they mistimed their doses. Maybe USADA's tests have gotten better. We don't know. Seeker, philosopher, it gave you your red blood cells more oxygen, so therefore your muscles and body recover quicker than the average person. Van, do you know Sam personally? Do you have any mutual friends that know Sam? What do you think of him and what do you have heard about him? Do you like his methods of training and dieting? Well, Van Long, I got to tell you, I've reached out to Sam Calavita at the training lab multiple times in the lead up to this fight. I wanted to highlight him on this channel and on my podcast. I wanted to share his story and his methodology with our community. I thought that would be a great thing. Just like I've had Dr. Andy Galpin, PhD, on our show. Andy works with athletes. He's a performance specialist, amongst many other things. I just had Phil Daru, the head strength coach of American Top Team, on the show. I've had Rob Wolf on the show. I've taken notable individuals in sports, in health, in fitness, in medicine, and I try to highlight them on my show, on my media, through my channels. I thought Sam would be a good fit, as TJ spoke so highly of him. I reached out to Sam multiple times, through private DMs on Instagram, through public comments on Instagram, through friends that we had in common, all asking Sam to get in touch with me, to host him and have a robust conversation, really to highlight him, to put him over. And unfortunately, Sam did not respond to any of my requests to have him on the show, which personally I did find suspect in a way. Why would he not want to have a conversation with a peer when it was clear I was trying to promote him and promote what he was doing at that time? I thought he was likely doing amazing work that the world should hear about and know about, also knowing that he is building a business and help him build his business. Now we find out that his star pupil has tested positive for EPO. It does not mean that he did anything wrong, but it does make myself suspicious, and many others in the industry are suspicious, as Sam's background of being an endurance athlete, a triathlete, and training a tier of athletes who have positive performance results. I don't know of any other athlete who has tested positive under Sam, nor do I want to speculate that Sam was responsible, and that's very clear. TJ is fully responsible, but I do think TJ and Sam should have individual statements that they do put out. And that is to answer your question, Van. TJ was one of my favorite fighters, Koth says. Zeke says, don't take testosterone, smoke marijuana. Puff, puff, pass. Pronig, Ricky V, to an extent, his fight IQ and sticking to the game plan needs work still. Mark Yan says, I think this really tarnishes the sport overall. I agree 100%. That's why I call for a lifetime ban for first offense with PED use, Every MMA fighter that is found guilty of using PEDs will make the news and in turn hurt the marketability of the sport. That is true. Junior, I'm assuming TJ took EPO because of the insane amount of cardio his weight cut was going to require. But then again, he could have been on it since the Barao fight. We never know. So what happened with the 135-pound belt? He vacated it. Marlon Moraes is fighting Henry Cejudo for that belt coming soon. I forget the exact date, but that fight was already announced. Answer some more questions here. There are more coming. Many, many more. I will do my best to answer each and every one. So what happened? Answer that. How does EPO improve an athlete's performance and training? Greater oxygen supply. A massive, massive, massive supra physiological oxygen supply. Just think about that, which is that's the layperson's example or definition. If you need more information, just do a simple Google search of EPO. Excuse me. Is this the worst kind of cheating? No, all cheating is bad. I don't think we need to categorize what's worst. This is just as bad as many other, I think we could say. Real, appreciate your information. Many are confusing EPO as an anabolic steroid. No, it's not true. No, that is not true. what is EPO specifically? On the scale of you just attempting the first champion down to this. Is it a peptide? Is it a hormone? Is it a precursor of a hormone? I forget. I just read this in one of the articles prior to having this conversation with you guys. It's a peptide. EPO is a peptide hormone used to stimulate red blood cell production. It is typically administered via intravenous injection. So that comes right off of the ESPN article on this issue. Have you, Stephen? No. Seeker of Glory, ex-training partner say TJ has been on it for years. That is speculation. We don't know what's smack talk and what's real, so we want to stick to the facts here. Nico, if USADA testing has gotten so good that they can find trace amounts of gear in John Jones from over a year, how will Lesnar be able to pass a test? Or is there some funny business happening? You just don't know. We don't know, and that's unfortunate. We don't know. Dillashaw is the GOAT. Fake news. That is funny. Zero. Lionel, Dominic Cruz is the real bantamweight GOAT. Facts. I agree. I do put Dominic Cruz as the bantamweight GOAT. New York Yankees, always a fan of TJ, but completely lost my respect from using and cheating with the steroids. I agree. Philosopher, how can an athlete build better cardio instead of resorting to things like EPO? Natural ways to do this. There's so many ways to do this. We call it the 52-week training program, in which you live like a professional athlete 52 weeks out of the year. You can simply live high, train low, or live high, compete low. Had TJ just moved back to Colorado or moved up to Big Bear for 6 to 8 weeks, he would have had a very similar red blood cell production that he received from taking the synthetic illegal EPO. You're awesome. Enrico says, you're awesome, Dolce. I appreciate that, Enrico. I'm just trying to do my best to use my platform here to offer you guys this information. And for those who are new to the channel, I am the 4-time World MMA Trainer of the Year. I have credibility inside this sport. I have a deep understanding of many of the athletes, not just who the athletes are and what their resumes look like, but a lot of the motivations behind the scenes. I know most, or if not most, nearly every person in the sport, from agents to managers to promoters to coaches to athletes. And this is a sad day. This is a sad day in the sport for many reasons. Bee pepper, it's very effective substance. It's not a substance you find in contaminated supplements. It's injectable. That was from Jeff Nowitzki. Freedom EPO in the grass. That is funny. Mike, is TJ's career finished? I would say no, because other athletes have come back from similar type of suspensions. A 2-year suspension is not a long suspension in the large course of a career, especially when you are a world champion. TJ Dillashaw likely will come back, and he will likely be paid very well when he does come back. He will have an uphill battle. He will become the heel, but that does not matter. As we see in professional wrestling, the heel has a place inside the sport, and many times the heel makes more money. Look at Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is a heel, and he is one of the greatest pay-per-view draws in the history of sports entertainment. Boxing now, Mexican meat. Exactly. That is a farce. Want to be me? I found this by searching EPO on YouTube, and your show was the top one. Excellent. Now a subscriber. Guys and gals, subscribe to this channel if you have not already. Give this video a thumbs up if you have not already. I will be bringing you honest, open, transparent information from the world of mixed martial arts, and also health and fitness and sports performance. The Dolce diet is the most respected healthy weight management system in the history of combat sports, and we have a 100% success ratio in preparing athletes to compete in weight class-oriented sports. A 100% success ratio for over 20 years. No other team can claim that. Our team can. You can go to thedolcediet.com to learn more. You can even start your own personalized 4-week or 12-week diet and exercise program catered to you, to your life. And there is a money back guarantee. I don't want your money unless you want our system and you see results. I stand by everything as I stand here and sit here, I should say, speaking with you, to you, with open transparency, as we do. John, man, use Picos. I think that means picograms from the John Jones saga, not Aaron Pico, who is a training partner of TJ and trained out of the training lab. I don't think that's what you're talking about. To be clear, we don't want anyone to be brought into this conversation without there being facts. So I just want to be clear with that. Mark Fisher, seriously, MMA has surpassed cycling for the accolades of most dirty sport in the world. You would be surprised. I don't think MMA even lands in the top 10. Truly, you would be surprised at how dirty many of these sports are, especially the endurance sports, especially the cycling, especially the ultras, especially the triathlons. And that's why there's a lot of speculation about Sam Calavita's relationship with TJ and whether or not he was aware of this, because Sam comes from a triathlon background. That's why, once again, I will say TJ and Sam both need to come out with statements to clear the air, to make sure that whoever is not involved is not implicated to this, because there's a dark cloud over the team. Philosopher K says, Dolce, you're such a positive guy. It's inspiring. Philosopher, I appreciate you. I work extremely hard for you guys. I have been blessed to be in a position to have the experience of working with world-class athletes, Hollywood celebrities, heads of state, leaders of industry. There is no reason why the average person should not have access to the same information that multimillionaires have. That's what I try and do with my channel, with our products, with our services. The same systems we use with the world's greatest athletes is exactly what we offer access to you guys, whether it's through these live and free YouTube channels, it's through the Mike Dolce Show podcast, it's through our live daily Q&As that we host on Instagram. We put more free content out for any other health and fitness professional that I'm aware of. I know of no one else with my resume that does as much free work as my team does. Remember, my team is not just me. We have a team of registered dietitians, exercise physiologists, and certified trainers on staff, ensuring all federal and governing regulations are met. All medical nutrition therapy practices are adhered to as we move forward in working with our clients and our athletes. I know of no other team that takes the expense that my team does to ensure we provide the best possible evidence-based yet battle-tested information. I know of no other team with a resume such as ours, and I'm happy and proud to share this information freely with you guys. And this is a conversation that we're having specifically on the topic of TJ Dillashaw. Every Friday, I host a live and free Q&A here on YouTube at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, in which I answer every one of your questions regarding health and fitness and diet and weight loss and making gains and all of those fun things. That's usually what this channel is. Feel free to go back and look at past videos. But again, subscribe to this channel if you have not yet. I will make you proud. I will constantly deliver the information that you guys need. Ivy League says, I just saw a video with someone arguing that TJ didn't cheat because EPO occurs naturally in the body when it's depleted. However, TJ got caught with synthetic EPO. Exactly. These tests are very specific. There is no question. Once USADA comes out with a finding such as this, they have done their due diligence to ensure this is without a doubt a true positive. Cody called it during a pre-fight press conference, and Uriah called it on Ariel's MMA show. I know, and that's unfortunate. Vincent Ross, how good is Henry? Henry's a beast, Olympic gold medalist in freestyle wrestling. That right there is a savage. Moves on to beat DJ Demetrius Johnson, the GOAT, to take the 125-pound world title, and then he knocks out TJ Dillashaw. Let's not get it twisted. TJ Dillashaw is a badass fighter. Drugs or not, he's a badass fighter. And Cejudo starched him. Real John Joe's uses Turinabol, an anabolic steroid, currently champ. I'm still failing tests allowing to fight. TJ uses EPO, not an anabolic steroids, and he was a bad guy. Jones was also suspended. Remember that Jones was suspended twice for failed drug tests, just as TJ is suspended right now. Mike, do you believe other current fighters, i.e. the champs, are on the juice? Kelvin, I would have no idea and no basis to make that assumption, and it would be unfair to do so. Unless we have definitive proof, I would not make such a statement. I do hope that they are not, and I do wish for the best in all people, though we are aware that there are those who will try and subvert the system. Yahoo, is it It's kind of crazy that Cody mentioned this during their fight and everyone just brushed it off because of no evidence. Now this guy literally lost all credibility. It's true, but without evidence, what can you do? You hear guys and gals smack talk all the time in the build up to a fight. Unless there's evidence, you cannot act. Snake in the Grass says Lex should get in touch with John Pico guy. Zero Koo says Armstrong is still the greatest cyclist. Ha, ha, ha. I think you mean drug cyclist. That's funny, actually. Coat the Kid, what does this say for the bantamweight division? It says Henry Cejudo is a stud. That's what it says. John Doe, real, he served his time. That is true. Brown Clown, Tour de France has suspended the Snake for life. Joe Suds, Cruz is the GOAT. The end. The end. I agree. Dominic Cruz is the GOAT of that division. Andreas, Cody Garbrandt called it true. Real. Does John Jones still test positive? Picos are positive tests. Kelvin, what Chad Mendez, TJ Dillashaw were TAM on the juice. Chad Mendez tested positive. Was it for Osterine? I believe it was a SARM, which is much, much, much lower in severity, though illegal. And he did test positive. He claimed it was for some sort of skin condition, unintentional use, which may or may not have been true. Let's see here. There are more questions here, so I will continue to answer to the best of my ability. I'll probably go straight to end the hour. We're 45 minutes in. Let's see what more information we can have, we can put out. At least Armstrong answered that. How many of Favors boys have been on the juice? How many of Dwayne Ludwig's boys are on the juice? Glenn, we have no idea to know that. Renzo says, hey, Mike Dolce, big fan. Always use the breakfast bowl for my weight cuts. My question is, what is an EPO? EPO, and that actually goes back to, and I did answer that EPO is a peptide hormone used to stimulate red blood cell production. Usually it is administered through intravenous injection. Ulysses, that is funny. New York Yankees, that is not true. I would say I could not imagine any world in which that would be true. Luke, Henry has an Olympic gold medal. True. Grifter, EPO makes the blood thicker. That's dangerous. That is very true. That is very true. It's dangerous for weight class oriented athletes. Malik, it makes you wonder how many other fighters are using steroids. And I would not be surprised if the majority of the fighters have ever used in their careers. That is true also. Glenn, I didn't. Okay. Token says, just now finding out Dolce has a channel, totally subscribed. I appreciate that. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe. I will not let you down. I will constantly bring you the most honest, up-to-date, cutting-edge information from an insider's perspective, whether it's the world of mixed martial arts and combat sports or from advanced performance specialties, weight cutting, weight management, weight loss, strength gain, muscle gain. We work with it all. Joe Suds just answered that. Henzo, real Grifter, it's only dangerous because it is injected into your veins. A lot of things increase red blood cells. Gary Bryant, is his career tainted? Absolutely. Vehu, even if TJ comes back, who do you think will regain? Do you think he will regain popularity? No, he will not. He will always be known as a doper. It doesn't mean he will not make a ton of money. He likely will. Wanna be me, I would just like to know how long TJ has been doing this, as in recently with his new diet trainer his whole career. I agree. That would be nice to know. I wish TJ would come out with a statement on that. Greg Keggy says, just came across this and subbed also. Thanks, man. Keggy, I appreciate you. Thank you very much for being here. And I do my best also to answer every question. If you leave it in the comment section after this video posts, if you go back in my previous videos, you will see I'm very active in the comment section also. And I do create videos based upon your questions, what you want to see, what you want to know, I answer. And again, every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I host a live health and fitness, diet, weight loss Q&A for you. Luke says he'll go to 1FC for that DJ fight. That is possible. Nicholas, he could get it reduced for helping out others, which means snitching. That is possible. Rick, Cody said he was on EPO before their first fight. I remember that. Rob, does this mean he doesn't trust his training and his trainer? In your opinion, yes. Stephen Scott, any idea? Like I said, usually athletes dope because it's a lack of confidence and greed. Stephen Scott, any idea how long EPO lay for help perform or stay in the system? I do not know that. Love your knowledge. This is the channel I've always wanted. You got a new one subscriber here, and we'll check out your videos. Stefan, I appreciate that. Thank you and welcome. I would suggest doing a quick search of EPO to understand what the detection times are. I don't know, but I think it's relatively short based upon how many athletes use it at that elite level in the ultras. Angel, hope all is well. Coach Mike, what do you recommend as a substitute for lists when it's raining outside? I go outside anyway. I'll perform maybe body weight work inside the house for 20 minutes. JB, TJ is going to do 2 years on the trend and come back and win the Bellator heavyweight tournament. That's funny. Ulysses, everybody is on something, possibly, if not anything but caffeine at least. And that is a PED, though it is legal to a certain threshold. Adam, why do more men get popped than female fighters? Women being smaller and less muscular surely would benefit more. I think men are more prone to taking risks. Women are not. And I believe that is a psychological affect of the gender. Men are more open to risks in many ways. Men possibly are dumber than women also in many ways. Would the Dolce diet be recommended for triathletes? Absolutely. We have multiple triathletes, endurance athletes, marathon runners, tennis players, soccer players, football, rugby, basketball, baseball, NHL, wrestlers, combat athletes who all follow the Dolce diet. You can go to thedolcediet.com. You can use my promo code DolceTube and you will save 10% on our 4-week or 12-week online personalized diet and exercise program if you needed something such as that. Vayu, oh yes, so side question, can TJ sign with another organization? No, he cannot. He is under contract with the UFC. Joel, hey Dolce, I'm trying to cut 20 pounds of fat. What do you think would be better to cut, doing the GSP Rush Fit workout program for 8 weeks or lifting heavyweight in the gym 3 to 4 days a week? Joel, honestly, you should go to thedolcediet.com. You should sign up for our 4-week, 3 weeks to shredded program. We give you one bonus week. 3 weeks to shredded was designed to lose 21 pounds in 21 days if you have the weight to lose. 1 pound per day. 3 weeks to shredded has a 100% success ratio while working with the world's greatest athletes for over 20 years. That means every athlete we've ever worked with for over 20 years has made weight successfully following our program. What's even more important is our program is a whole food program where you eat real food all day long. You eat carbohydrates. You're not fasting. You eat 6 meals per day all day long. And again, it is designed to lose 1 pound per day for 21 days while preserving as much lean muscle tissue as possible, knowing you have to compete at a world-class level the next day. That is at thedolcediet.com. You can use my promo code DolceTube if you were serious about it. That's what you should be doing. What will Dwayne Ludwig do now? I will talk to Dwayne soon and see. Jim Wheel laughed my ass off. Cheater. Poe says, does the Dolce diet include? No, it does not. No, it does not. Michael Wall, remember TJ always showed his hyperbaric chamber. Now we know why he really needed it. Kenny says, Dolce, very smart and diligent with the info. Kenny, thank you very much. Kanye, I agree. Ulysses, insulin needles for them. Ice out. Is this really a surprise? I mean, it is a surprise, unfortunately. Poe, that is gross. Luke, will the Cody fights be declared a no contest? No, they will not. TRTJ, that is funny, Goldberg. Bert says, aha, triathlons. Come on, man. Sam is a noob. Triathlon at best. My brother was one of the best pros in the USA. Doping in triathlon is few and far between these days. Bert, I don't believe that is true, my friend. I believe doping is high in every sport. You would be surprised at the lawyers who are doping. Not that it's illegal, but everyone is looking for some sort of advantage, right? They're looking to compete at super physiological levels. And there's many ways to do that. Some are within the rules and some are outside the rules. Real. I cannot say that out loud, and I do not believe that to be true without facts. Swag says, have you ever worked with an athlete that you know was doping? How did you react? Did you cut ties or look the other way? We did work with athletes that we know had a history of doping, and the only way we would work with them is if we could get them off and believe in a new way, in a new system. And you'll see some athletes that we worked with, and then all of a sudden we cut ties with and moved on for some reason that made no sense to the rest of the world. Well, you can actually speculate and understand why we chose to leave. Marty, I don't know that that's true. Boxing, have you ever eaten? I ate 6 whole eggs today. That's actually true. John Doe, can you hire me as an intern? Very possibly. Shoot a message to jobs@thedolcediet.com if you are serious about becoming a part of our team. It's amazing to me that TJ's enemies didn't snitch him out to USADA. Well, I think that says something to integrity of the people that do or do not snitch. Gil, another white hype hope bites the dust. I don't think race has anything to do with this. Joe Suds, no Luke. Michael Wall, TJ Dillashaw. That is funny. The Mexican, great information. Thanks, man. I've subscribed and I'm going to check out your other content as I need to lose some weight. The Mexican, I am always here to help. Remember, every single day on Instagram, I also provide a free Q&A every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do at least a 1-hour Q&A answering every single question, not strictly, but primarily related to diet and exercise and weight loss here on this channel. Bert, doping in triathlon is more popular in the amateur ranks than in the pro ranks. That's good to know. Vayu, can TJ sign with another organization? No. Poe, just got me 2.1 million. What does that mean? Ulysses, VADA would crumble the UFC. USADA is better than VADA, in my opinion. TJ Armstrong Boxing Stuff says, Swag, hey Mike, have you ever worked? I answered that. Saran says we should save our opinions till after the appeals process. TJ already relinquished the belt. He gave up the belt before this news even came out, which is an odd thing. Usually they will wait until it goes through the entire due process. Gary O'Brien, this is great insight. You said MMA wouldn't be in the top 10 dirtiest sports. I'm no expert. Would you say that CrossFit is a dirty sport? I am going to have to say no comment on that one. CrossFit is very litigious, and it's not worth me offering any other speculation on that matter. That's all I will say. LLL, that's funny. He's under contract. Real. These tests are very specific. There is no question except for John Jones. If you remember, John Jones was suspended. He was suspended for 18 months or something along those lines. He was suspended twice, multiple years of suspensions. Ulysses, VADA will catch any trace of PEDs. USADA, once again, is better, I believe. Stephen Scott, I've heard Rogan mention you before. What fighters you think I know you worked with before? Ronda Rousey, have you heard of her? She's a pretty good one. Luke Bostwick, Doug the Vein Digger. Gil says Henry Cejudo murked him while he was on the juice. That's true. Michael Zend, it's hard to catch an athlete using EPO. The reason is a short halftime for recombinant peptides, usually 2 to 3 hours. I did not know that. That is insane. Possibly that massive weight cut is what fucked him. Poe, I just shot my dog. I don't know what that means. New York Yankees, how do we know that he is a badass fighter? He could have used it the whole time because he likely beat other dudes who were on shit at the same time. Dolce Diet for triathlons. We've worked with many ultra endurance athletes. I just don't care how much people like to blank Jones off. He's been on roids so long. I don't know the facts behind that, so I don't want to speculate. Answer a few more here. We're getting close to the end. Poe, you're actually being blocked for using homophobic slurs, unfortunately. It's a commercial, pornography, hate speech. Sorry, sir. I don't care if you guys bust balls, you make jokes, you have fun, but don't cross those lines, guys and gals. All right, don't cross those lines. Ryan Dawson, Dolce is the only honest voice in the health and fitness industry. I certainly do my best to tell you guys the truth, even if it doesn't make me money, especially when it doesn't make me money. And you guys know that's the truth. There's integrity behind our brand and what we do. We never sold out. We never took the pharma money. We never took the supplement money. We never changed our vision. We never changed our principles based upon pop culture. We never did that. We never followed the keto bandwagon, the paleo bandwagon, the intermittent fasting bandwagon, the thermogenic bandwagon, the fit tea bandwagon. We would have made millions of dollars if we hopped in and out of those buckets like all the other so-called fitness experts did. We never did that because we are open, honest, and transparent. We will tell you guys what works, period, the end. That is what we do. We tell you the fucking truth. We tell you the truth. And that's what we do. That's our credibility. That's our brand. That's our business. And that's what I am dedicated to doing. That's what I will always do here for you guys. You never have to worry about me not telling you guys the truth. 2 to 3 hours. What's up, Dolce? I just subscribed. When was the last time you got the itch to fight? I train hard all the time. So I don't really have the itch to. I saw this bare, and honestly, watching this bare knuckle stuff, I think I'd be pretty good at that actually, because I'm a little thick headed and a little stupid in many ways, and I'm always in fucking sick shape, and I got knockout power in both hands. But I'm also a 42-year-old father of 2 young toddlers in my house, so I understand the basics of life, and that is not doing such a thing. So that's just to answer your question. More questions here before I get out. Wow, so many more questions. I appreciate each and every one, guys and gals. Thank you so much. And once I do sign off, feel free to leave comments below this video, and I will jump back on and I will answer your questions. I will try and answer every single one, as I always try and do. Answer that, answer that, answer that, answer that. There we go. We're back on track. Henry Cejudo, answer that. It's hard. Yep, yep. Joe Suds, that's not true. We still do work with fighters. We work with individuals like Mirsad Bektik, the number 7 ranked featherweight in the UFC. We work with Gaston Bolanos, and we consult for quite a few others. Many of the top athletes in the UFC do call us and our team, and we help dial them in. I just don't travel anymore, like I said, because I have 2 little babies at home, and it costs a lot of money for me to leave my family. I'm at that point in my life that I don't have to travel. I don't have to do anything, which is why I could sit behind this microphone and talk openly and honestly to you guys, and I don't have to chase that keto money and all the other bullshit supplement money out there. I'm good. Life is good. Life is good. So I have the ability, I have that fuck you lifestyle now. I can sit here and tell you guys the truth and not give a shit what anybody thinks. Does this racist will never let you forget? Gil, you're funny. I'm not going to talk about that stuff about Usman. I don't believe that to be true without any facts. Cool show found it after hearing the TJ. Hope to see more content in the future. Back to work for me. Absolutely. We'll be putting lots more. Diego Sanchez is a savage. Absolutely. He is. If it hurts his career, TJ was on blank the past 2 years. Possibly. We don't know. Michael, what are your thoughts on Poirier versus Holloway fight? Do you think it's going up in size is good for him as a nutrition specialist? I think 155 is a better weight class for Holloway. It's very hard for him to get down to 145. That being said, I don't think it's good for the sport of the divisions to see Holloway leave his weight class to move up to fight for an interim title. Should Holloway win the 155-pound interim title, then what happens? He's not going to go back down, defend the 45-pound title, and then jump back up to fight Khabib for the 55-pound title. It creates a complete bottleneck at 145, and that is not fair to the other hardworking athletes in the division. I don't see if an athlete wants to move up, they should vacate. Holloway should have vacated. He should have vacated. Any athlete, all the athletes. And I've said that before. I did a video on this, that Holloway versus Poirier is a great fight, but a bad matchup. It's a good scrap. It's a fun fight to watch, but it's a bad matchup for the sport. Do you take fish oil? I take krill oil. I'm so disappointed in TJ. I hope that was a lesson for him. Agree. That's a cheap for an MMA fighter. What brand of fish oil do you take? I change it a little bit. I'll let you know. I'll take a look. I'll let you know what my favorite one is on a different video. Mike, who do you think will win this? Max versus Dustin and Israel versus Kelvin? I don't pick fights because I don't know. I've been in the game over 20 years now that I don't pick fights anymore. And I'm actually friends with some of these guys, and it doesn't really matter what my opinion is as I sit here. Now, I can break down the fights and tell you the pros and cons to each, but I don't pick fights. I think they're both great fights, though. I rarely do I pay for pay-per-views anymore. I will buy these pay-per-view. And remember, I'm a guy that gets cage side seats. I sit front row. I've been front row for some of the greatest fights in UFC history, with literally the blood and sweat flying off the cage, landing in my lap. I don't really buy fights anymore. I will buy these 2 fights. Steele, Henry didn't even beat DJ. Just Sack says, just subscribed. I didn't know you had this channel. Well, I appreciate that. Welcome. Hopefully YouTube will start promoting us. Give us a thumbs up, guys and gals. If you're here, give this video a thumbs up. Hopefully YouTube will start recommending this video. Please keep coming back. Please subscribe to this channel. If you find the information that I give beneficial, I do ask you to keep coming back, to like our videos if you do like them, and to engage with comments. We're trying to grow this channel, and I will always give you guys what you want. I will always do my best to offer an open, honest, transparent take on every single topic, usually and especially with regards to health and fitness, weight loss, and strength gain. That is where I certainly excel. But I am an MMA insider. I am the 4-time world MMA trainer of the year, and I have a lot of insight to share there also. James only can be, and that's it. Zombie, funny. Rogan did 3 hours just now and didn't comment on this. I wonder if that is something to do with the pity party he had for DJ. You know, maybe that's maybe Joe didn't know. You know, Joe talks about everything. I don't think it's intentional. Joe probably just didn't know. He was probably in the zone. This news just came out. It came out like a half hour before I came live to talk to you guys. All right, guys and gals, I'm actually overtime right now. We're at an hour and 5 minutes. I was only going to do a 10-minute video here, truly, and I tried to do my best to answer every single question. I know there are many more questions here, so I apologize for not being able to answer every single question in the queue. If you want me to answer your question, I promise you, after I post this video, put it in the comment section. I will come back and answer these questions. If you're interested in anything on the health, fitness, weight loss, and performance side, I will answer these questions in bigger videos, or come back on Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will answer all these questions live. It is rather late in the day right now, and this was an unscripted breaking news podcast or video show to you guys. Again, subscribe to this channel if you do like this information, if you hopefully enjoy what we're trying to do here with you guys. Give us a thumbs up if you appreciate the video and the timeliness of this breaking news. And for those of you who are interested, you can go to thedolcediet.com right now and start our 4-week or 12-week online personalized diet and exercise program. Remember, 3 Weeks to Shred It is the most successful weight loss program in the history of combat sports. The only program with a 100% success ratio at that elite level for over 20 years in market. And that is a fact. No one can dispute that. And Lord knows I have my haters out there and trolls out there. No one can dispute that fact. And that is because we take an evidence-based approach to health and fitness. This is a whole food program. You will not be fasting. You will not be cutting carbs. You will be eating real food in a system that has been tried and true and proven at the world-class level. Again, that is at thedolcediet.com. You can use my promo code DOLCETUBE and save 10% if you choose to do so. If you need it, it will be there for you. Thank you all for being here. This was a great event. I really appreciate all the feedback, all the comments, all the engagement, and just simply for you guys coming and sharing this time with us. Until next time, boom.